Okay, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Hello, check, check. Okay. You can hear me? Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. I feel like I'm like the teacher. Okay, we are starting session 4A, membership show and tell best acquisition pieces. My name is Megan Richenberger, and I'm the Senior Director of Membership and Corporate Relations at K-State at the Alumni Association there. So I'm excited to start this session today, and thank you in advance to our presenters from Oregon, Penn State, Oklahoma State, and Michigan. So we're going to get started with Eric Jelm from the University of Oregon. Eric leads the University of Oregon's alumni membership and corporate revenue generation efforts as Senior Associate Director of Membership and Business Partnerships. In that role, he is responsible for soliciting UO alumni and friends to join the UO community, stewarding and renewing active members, and working closely with UOAA business partners to deliver valuable member rewards and meaningful financial support to the organization. Prior to his membership role, Eric managed a portfolio of alumni volunteers and developed strategy for engaging alumni via regional chapters. Eric holds a Bachelor of Arts and MBA from the University of Oregon and began his career working in college athletics at the University of Oregon and Colorado State University. He spends most of his time being a dad to his 2.5-year-old son, Carter. So we will let Eric take it away.
Hi, y'all. Hi, y'all. Um, yeah, so thanks for having me here today. My name is Eric Jelm. I work at Oregon. Happy to connect with anybody after this as well if you need some more information. But I know we're doing Q&A after this as well. So I'm going to talk to you about our campaign that we do every year to solicit parents of graduates and try and get them to gift a life membership to their student. This has been especially successful for us over the last 2 years or so, but it's been something that we've been doing for quite a while. So the context here is that about 2.5 years ago, I got the news that previously our memberships, there was an annual membership that was included in every graduation package. So when a student went and bought their cap and gown, we got $15 without basically doing anything. And 2 years ago, that did not happen. So we lost $40,000. And we're trying to be like, all right, how do we make up this revenue? Um, that really spurred a change in communication strategy where now we spend much more time with the graduating class trying to get them to come to our celebratory events at the end of the year, congratulating them. We do include some information on membership and like a QR code. So if they want to check it out, they can, but it's not a hard sell situation. Um, and that actually continues. If you go and look at our marketing materials up in the auditorium, you'll see something that we insert into their diploma frame or the diploma cover. And in the past, it was a really hard sell. It was like, become a life member right away. And that turned them off. So right now, if you go look at revised version, it's much more just like congratulations. Here's how you can be a part of the community. Here's how you can take advantage of our career networking, that type of stuff. So we had to sell to somebody, right? So we're selling to their parents because they have a lot more money, etc. So I think that's pretty much talks about, yeah, covers all that. So what we did is we had a pretty good working relationship with our parent and family association, but we integrated with them much, much more on this campaign. So we started working with them, I want to say 8 months before the launch of the campaign. This campaign goes from about April through the end of June. So it's a pretty long one. It goes through the whole commencement season. And really what we try and do is we just try and position the gift as A, it's a great graduation gift. B, this is how to help your student. Here's all of the things that the Alumni Association offers. So there is a bit of education because a lot of the times the parents are going to be the ones that are like, hey, you should really go to this event. And we also give some exclusive gifts. So they get like bobblehead of the duck in cap and ground. They get a license plate frame. They get a key tag that has like it's personalized to them. So if they were to lose their keys, somebody can drop it in the U.S. Postal Service box and it comes back to us, and then we get their keys back to them. And then this, I think that is the email that we sent out. It might be the web page, but that's just kind of the general content. It's like, here's the gift, here's why, and then we also this year we did some testimonials from previous purchasers, and that really helped as well. So results, it's pretty good, right? So we did not end up making all of the $40,000 back, plus what we had done previously, but this made up a good portion of it. In terms of channels, emails, print mail, text is very helpful. The Parent and Family Association has a very small list of people who have already opted in for text. And actually, if I go back to the last slide, the click rate on that text, I mean, you can see it's 21%. That's like crazy, right? So if you do have the ability to text, do so. Other than that, I would say we've also seen success in the communication to the graduating class. So we've continued to see increased attendance at our end of year event. That's where we give out those welcome gifts, and our staff use that as an opportunity to tell the students, like, here's how you plug in, here's our regional chapters, here's the affinity groups that we have. I think that's about it.
All right. Thank you, Eric. Up next is Liz. Liz King serves as the Executive Director of Resource Development for Penn State Alumni Association, the world's largest dues-paying alumni association. She oversees the association's primary revenue generating programs, including membership, corporate partners, sponsorships, strategic partnerships, and the association's annual fund, and currently leads efforts to grow dues-paying membership to 200,000 members to ensure long-term stability, impact, and increased engagement. That's wild. I'm excited to hear. Liz has worked in her current role for 9 years and has spent nearly 21 years at Penn State in the Division of Development and Alumni Relations. Her experience spans major gifts, annual giving, and alumni relations, providing her with a comprehensive perspective on advancement strategy and alumni engagement. In 2025, she participated in the Advancement Leadership Lab, collaborating with advancement leaders from 10 public institutions across the United States and Canada. As an active member of CAMP for 10 years, Liz currently serves as VP of Membership and has previously served on the sponsorship and membership committees. She is a graduate of Syracuse University, married to a Penn State alum, and proud parent of 2 children. Let's take it away.
For the record, 200,000 was not my idea. I was voluntold that. I'm gonna do my best. So, okay, first of all, also red and blue do not mix. Looks so weird to me, but we're gonna go with it. Okay, so join in June. So I have so many notes here. Okay, so this year we have done a join in June project every year. It's typically over the course of June. And we have a variety of segments. We have renewal segments, we have acquisition segments. Historically, we have sent this out via direct mail to, depending on the year, between 100 and 200,000 people. The package that we used to send was a number 10 package that had an 8.5 by 14 letter with a tear off on the bottom for them to send their membership back if they were going to do it by mail. And it had a small, very inexpensive kind of floppy magnet in there that had the football schedule on it. It was very small. You needed a magnifying glass to read it. We generally did okay, but prior to last year, we decided we're not going to spend all this money on it. You know, having the magnet in there, it did increase the postage a little bit. We had a window envelope, so that increased the cost. So last year we made a switch and we sent a postcard out that generated far fewer results. I mean, it was much less cost, but far fewer results and not the kind of bang that we wanted at the end of the fiscal year. So this year we rethought the whole thing. So our goals for this year, we wanted to evoke nostalgia. So the messaging throughout the campaign, both in print and in email, was basically like, remember what it was like walking into the stadium. Remember going into the stadium, because we tie this campaign with if you join, you're entered to win football tickets. So we have 3 packages. We have 2 tickets to all the home games. We have 2 tickets to 4 home games and 2 tickets to 3 home games. And so Penn State football tickets are oddly enough hard to come by. And so people like to join for the opportunity to win. We do not do any discounting on this membership pricing. So we really were trying to get people to like feel the feels about coming back for football. So we used a brand new design and strategy with this piece. With the imagery and copy, our intent was to make the audience remember what it's like to walk into the stadium for football games. Also, I want to share, we have a sponsor. I say we. Athletics has a sponsor of the football field. So this gets a little funny. You guys can probably all appreciate this. So our stadium is called Beaver Stadium. The field is called the West Shore Home Field at Beaver Stadium. We are no longer allowed to say plain old Beaver Stadium. We have to say the West Shore Home Field at Beaver Stadium. Nobody goes on the field, they go to the stadium, right? So our stuff said, remember walking into Beaver Stadium. And we got flagged for, you can't say. And I said, I'm not going to say to anybody, remember walking into the West Shore Home Field at Beaver Stadium. So we just shortened it to stadium. There was a lot of little hiccups along the way with that kind of stuff. But we talked about things that tied back to the Alumni Association. So Penn State Alumni Association has 2 student groups. We have the Blue and White Society, which is our student member group, and we have the Lion Ambassadors, which are our keeper of traditions. So both of those student groups have programs that happen in the stadium. Blue and White Society hands out blue and white shaker pom-poms as students walk into the student section. And Lion Ambassadors is the group that manages, we call it the S zone, but they have t-shirts that make it look like an S in the student zone. And so they're very involved. So we tied it back, the messaging back to supporting students and the things that students get to do while they are at Penn State. We reduced the total mailed this year. So instead of sending to between 100 and 200,000, we only mailed to members who were lapsed 0 to 5 years. We sent them to our May 2025 grads who had their free year of membership about to expire. And then we sent it to annual members who were due for renewal within 3 months. And then that was all for direct mail. And then our email was to much broader audiences. We did all former members, all expiring gratis, that's that May 2025 class, and then all annual member renewal segments, like within a certain window. So we really just wanted to tie the association's involvement with athletics to students and back to membership. So here are some of our results. Oh, I failed to mention also, we did a piece that was a giving piece to our life members. So we had the same design, but we were asking them to make a gift to support these programs. We've never folded the annual giving piece and membership into the same campaign, so this was our first try at that. But here are the results by the numbers. a revenue goal for membership was 45,000. So we fell a little bit short of that at just under 40,000. We did not have a total membership number that we wanted to reach, but that number is false. We actually had 698 members generated from this. So those are renewals and new. And then the total printing and postage was 13,261 compared to the last 4 years. We spent around 40. Let me see. Our average cost over the past 4 years was nearly 80,000. So we drastically reduced what we spent, wildly increased the number of memberships that we generated from the campaign. The membership results were actually 5.5 times more than last year's campaign for number of members. So in this Join in June campaign last year, we brought in 126 members as compared to almost 700 this year. The membership revenue compared to last year was 4 times more than what we brought in. So this was, for me, super satisfying because our board has been really critical of membership revenue, kind of slowly decreasing year over year. So to kind of end the fiscal year on a really high note was professionally satisfying for me. And then the Sustaining Pride part. So our annual fund is called Sustaining Pride. Sustaining Pride generated more than $10,000 more than last year's fiscal year end appeal. The cost was still pretty high because we did a different version of the piece. But what we folded into this campaign was a stewardship component. So instead of mailing the magnet with the football schedule with the solicitation, we decided to do it as a stewardship piece. And we said everybody who made a gift of $25 or more, or anybody who joined during the campaign, would get a football schedule magnet that's like this big and you can actually read it. And it comes in a package that says, thank you. It's actually, I think it's being mailed today as we speak. So overall, this campaign did so much better. It was a first test for us to be able to try some different marketing, to do some segmentation, to be really intentional about who we mailed to, because we know that's a bigger cost to do postcards instead of envelope mail pieces, so that all of the pieces in the mailings were reduced. I can share, but like on our young alumni member renewal, it has a renewed today message on the bottom. For the other who were due to renew, it says renew today. The member acquisition does not say that, so we were pretty deliberate, and just those little details. I will also share that we have a new creative director who is really involved in this project, and she is very talented, very strategically minded, and a great partner to work with. So this just gives me high hopes for the future. So that's all I have to share. Thank you so much. And Melissa.
Thank you. Okay. That one work? Okay, maybe that's a little louder. Perfect. Thank you, Liz. All right. Our third presenter is Melissa Parkerson with Oklahoma State University. Melissa has served as the Director of Membership and Data Integrity for the Oklahoma State University Alumni Association since 2019 and was previously the Director of Student Programs from 2007 to 2019. She has worked in alumni relations and student programming for 20 plus years, having previously served as Assistant Director of Annual Giving and Alumni Relations at Oklahoma City University. Melissa's main area of focus is connecting OSU alumni, students, and friends with the university through membership and association, as well as maintaining accurate records of engagement. She was recognized as a Golden Torch Award recipient in 2014 by OSU Mortar Board and Outstanding Advisor in 2016 by Case ASAP District 4 for her work as a student advisor. Melissa graduated from OSU with a bachelor's degree in zoology and resides in Stillwater with her husband, Reagan, and daughter, Averly. Melissa enjoys live music, road trips, and spending time with her family, including their dog Max. Take it away. You just have to talk.
Hello, everyone. All right. Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our spring mass solicitation that we did. We actually went in line with a capital campaign that our university started last fall. So we kind of wanted to kind of go along with the branding and everything that they were using to try to just kind of be part of an overall picture of the university. So we really tried to focus on that. So the Code Calls is our capital campaign. We have a thing called the Cowboy Code. It's a poem that's out there. You can look it up, but it has phrases of basically how to be a good person and how to be a good alum. And so we kind of followed into those statements and tried to use them throughout our branding. So just a little bit about us. We were formed in 1920. The Alumni Association was. It's a independent 501c3. We used to be under the university, but separated off in 2005. We've got almost 270,000 alumni. I think when the spring graduates get loaded, they'll get over 270. And then we are an accrual model, so we're a little different in our membership structure. People can still pay on an ongoing annual type basis, but it goes towards their life membership bucket. So they just kind of continually work towards a life membership. It's not a pledge. It doesn't have a set amount. Like right now it's 1,000, but that could change next week to $1,250 and their balance would go up. So they're not locked in at a life member rate. They're just all the dollars they pay towards membership go towards their life membership. And then we have no formal role in the university's annual giving. The foundation takes care of that, but we do have parts. We do have scholarship funds. We have our general fund and things that people can give to through the annual fund if they would like, but that's not our active role. And then we have been separate from everything. Our Alumni Association has been in place in a membership dues association since 1920. So, like I said, we have the Cowboy Code. Our membership for this campaign brought in a little over $30,000. And then 15 of those are on active membership subscriptions, which means they're going to on-go their payments. I don't have to do anything to renew them. I don't have to do anything to keep getting money. They're already set up on some type of recurring payment, monthly, quarterly, yearly. So that's nice. It'll be still continually to grow and ongoing. So we had direct mail. We had 21.7 as far as the direct mail people. We had, and of those, the 90,000 that were lapsed or inactive members. And then we use our engagement score a lot of times if we're going to do direct mail, just because of the cost. We really try to focus on those that may already be engaging with us in some way. So we use our engagement score for that. We have our Life Member Plus, which is a sustaining life membership program. And so we count those kind of more like a renewal. If they were a life member last year or any time before, it counts as a renewal for them, or it's acquisition for all of our other life members. So of the email, this one actually went out to nevers as well. So in the spring, we do direct mail for those that are really more engaged, but email goes to all lapsed, all nevers, everybody in our database that we have an email for. So we really try to focus that spring one towards anybody and everybody. So with that, you can see we had the mail piece. To keep costs down, we do a shell, and all 4 of our segments, role-based areas, have the same shell. We just change the text to whether it's renewal or acquisition. It kind of changes some of the verbiage and the remit that goes with those, but we keep the branding the same across the board. So like I said, the branding goes in line with our capital campaign. We decided to do a crossword this spring. We've done it before where we just use keywords of the university, like Cowboys and Pistol Pete. This year we incorporated the Cowboy Code. And so it's statements about the code and trying to make sure keeping that branding unified across the campaign versus just some kind of random words. And so we had printing and services cost us for about $10,000 for the direct mail piece, and a little under $3,000 for the postage for that. Sorry, I keep forgetting to talk into this. And so that's kind of where we were with the cost for the direct mail. Our emails were similar in branding as well. We have our buttons that you can see that you can upgrade straight to life with whatever their balance is. So it is specific to the alum. So that amount changes. And then a subscription they can also start if they would rather start that. So we had the email that went out first. So our first one went out, similar verbiage across the board to them. May change a little bit with the roles, but very similar in the words. Our second one then went out on the middle of June, and then by the end of June, we did our third touch point. The third touch point went out to unopens. We sometimes go back and forth between unopens or clicks. So sometimes we do the people that clicked but didn't purchase. This time we decided to do straight unopens to see if that got some people. And then our graphic designer did a great job as far as putting in some little fun little teasers for the crossword to try to draw them back into the crossword on those last emails. So as you can see, our report, I mean, yes, it looks bad, but it's really not. It's just as the month went by, less people were doing it. But it does kind of show that we started off really strong and kind of how the money comes in. Like I mentioned, we have different targets with our Life Member Plus, our Life members. So we did have people in all different those levels of our membership giving towards it. And I really like the ones that are Member Plus because those people will keep paying, and those people pay past Life membership. So if they're on a subscription now, if they become a Life member, they automatically will go to Life Plus with their next payment. So we continually get that ongoing money even after they become a Life member without having to spend extra dollars to get them there. So with the fulfillment, we did have our standard fulfillment piece that goes out to all of our annual type members, those that haven't reached Life member yet. It's a postcard with their decals already on it. So we're not having to have multiple pieces with that. It's a straight self-mailer. So everybody got that off of the piece. Then our Life Member Plus get a gift. And so this year it was playing cards. And so they got the playing cards with their thank you note. And we do have a different decal for them that does have the years on them. Our normal decals do not have years on them. This is going to sound really bad, but they're not the best quality. Our standard ones aren't. I don't want them to last. People always like, it's falling apart. It's only been on there for like 2 years. Make another gift, and guess what? You'll get a new decal. So I'm always like, I don't really want them to last forever. So we hope people continually give so they keep getting new decals. But I don't put years on them, except for the Life Plus. We just started that this last fall by direction of our leadership would like them. So I've started them. And so we'll see how that goes, how many leftovers I have each year. But they'll go out in the piece. So we did do custom cards for those. Those are about $5.50, so they weren't too bad. And postage is not too bad with playing cards, because they're not super heavy. And we use, thanks to Jackie, we use pirateship.com. And has saved us thousands of dollars. So it keeps the postage down for us. Our Life Member kits that are standard for everybody, we have, I brought one today, you heard it earlier probably. So we do that. The 29 is including our decals that we put in it, their cards that we put in it, and those kind of things. And it plays the alma mater when it opens, you heard. So that's our standard Life Member kit. Once again, postage through the pirate ship thing saves me a bunch of money. We do everything in-house. We do all of our fulfillment in-house. Then we pull reports weekly and things go out. We help with the help of a student. So yeah, that is all. Sorry, I forgot to put a questions thing on there. So
Thank you, Melissa. I've got to learn more about this pirate ship thing. I've not heard of this. All right. Our last speaker is Melanie Rodenberg from the University of Michigan. That's all right. Melanie is the Associate Director of Membership at the Alumni Association of the University of Michigan, bringing over 20 years of expertise in alumni relations to the table. Known for driving real results, Melanie recently helped spearhead a major digital overhaul of the Alumni Association's online membership experience, introduced a curated online storefront exclusively for Life members, and successfully boosted revenue from fiscal year 25 to 26. At this year's conference, Melanie is excited to showcase a successful membership solicitation. A lover of travel, podcasts, and cooking, Melanie can also be found spending weekends shopping or cheering on her favorite 2 soccer players, her niece and nephew. We will let Melanie in.
Thanks, Megan. Hello, everyone. I don't have a title slide showing my showing my picture, but here I am. Nice to it's nice to be here this year as a participant. It's been a great conference so far. Happy to be here. A little bit about the Alumni Association of the University of Michigan. We are a traditional revenue model. We are an annual and life membership shop. We are independent. We are 501c3, so we're independent of the university. And I'm going to, oh, first, sorry, I was going to share that we have, with the graduating class, the spring grads that just graduated a few months back, we are now over 700,000 living alums, and we have about 105,000 members. So that number could be a lot better, but and today I'm going to talk about our fall parent campaign, which I chose to highlight this campaign because it did meet our goal that we had for it, as well as exceeded last year's goal. So it's taken on like a new format the past 2 years. So I mean, it wasn't our highest revenue generator of a campaign, but we saw the largest increase in this campaign. So we really like the direction it's headed. And I was just going to comment that Michigan also does campaigns similar to everything shared here by all my previous presenters. So we do all those campaigns as well. So this campaign is multi-channel, and we launched this in the fall. So once we receive data from the registrar for the parents of the incoming freshman students. So it typically launches mid-October. And the first thing we do is we launch the direct mail piece. And we have started doing some audience segmentation. So what that means is we talk to the parents a little bit differently. So the letter here goes to the parents of sophomores, juniors, and senior parents. So we are using a parent-to-parent angle. So the person pictured there is one of my colleagues, Bernsey, whose daughter went to Michigan, and he purchased a life membership for her. And the year previous, we featured another colleague. So this year, we're looking to hopefully find a board member or a donor that we can showcase that meets all the criteria. So not just using Alumni Association staff, hopefully widening our pool. And really, like, the message here is, you know, they are already familiar, being their student is beyond beyond freshmen. So we really try to drive home, like, this is where they belong for life. And if you purchase the membership for them now, you know, they're going to be able to utilize all the benefits that we have for the rest of their life. This student life membership is our lowest student price point as well. So that's another point we try to drive home, is if you purchase it now, it's going to be at the lowest price point. So the price point for a student life membership is $749. And we just launched the student life membership program in FY22. So we really haven't been doing it that long. And this campaign did see some other iterations. We tried doing like just to have a cheaper cost. We tried doing like self mailers, brochures. None of those really worked that well for us. Also, we found out the hard way one year where our direct mail piece was in homes about the same time that the tuition bill was due. So that was very bad for our results. So, but yeah, this is what the letter format looks like. Oh. Okay. And this version is for the parents of first year students. So it's just a more informational postcard. Sure, it does mention, you know, why they should buy the membership, why they should join, but I would say the ask is a little more fluffy, as we call it. It's more of the secondary message. So it's really trying to, you know, just drive home to them, like, your student can be part of the Alumni Association. It's not just for alums, like, join now. And I will say that, like, for benefits for students while they're on campus, like, we do have some things where we offer free swag for any student member. We do usually once a month, we call it Winning Wednesdays, which is part of our Welcome Wednesdays when they come to the Alumni Center for free bagels and coffee. So if you're a member, they can get a free swag item. So that's been pretty popular. And just last year, we actually now launched a student annual rate because, like many others, you know, we're seeing that the parents, of course, are buying the life membership because it's the higher price point. So now we have a $30 student annual membership. And that was a soft launch last year because we've really just been promoting it at events. So this year we're going to be doing some testing and actually targeting some digital campaigns to students. But we have a member lounge at the Alumni Center, so they can come there if they need to study. So you have to be a member to use it. In the member lounge, there's snacks and a Starbucks coffee machine. So we kind of try to promote that. We do have a couple discount partners that are on campus that they'd be able to have access to. So yeah, okay. Now for the results. So up here is the samples of the digital assets. So like I mentioned, it's a multi-channel campaign. So, you're either going to get the direct mail letter or you're going to get the postcard, but then we are going to follow through with some emails. So we have 3 emails that we send out. And we also have a social post. And those are the digital assets that I've shared there. And this launches typically mid-October, and we promote it through the end of November. And the hoodie that you see there pictured is the exclusive gift when you purchase a Student Life membership. They get that hoodie. So the campaign this year, we generated almost $84,000. And our goal was $55,000. So we exceeded our goal. So we were really happy. It was 152% to the goal. So like I said, this was like one of the best performing campaigns that exceeded our expectations, and we're going to continue with this format going forward. We did, of course, receive most of the memberships were life memberships, because like I said, we soft launched the annual memberships, but we only offered those to the parents of first years because we did not want to dilute our revenue. So we only had about $1,200 in annual revenue, but because it's $30, it's such a low price point. And we really, made that product for the goal in mind is for the students to actually buy it. And then the cost, we spent about $14,000 between the 2 pieces. So I think our audience size pool is usually between 17,000 and 18,000 parents because we mail it to domestic parents only that we have valid addresses for. So our parent data isn't as great compared to our alumni data, unfortunately, but with what we have, we feel like it's working very well. And then I think I just included one other thing, just a couple other campaigns that we do that are our top performers year over year. I would say these are our tried and trues. So I think many of you all do, we call ours Blue Friday instead of Black Friday. So we run a week-long digital campaign, Blue Friday, Cyber Monday. We typically offer a 25% discount on all memberships. So we run that for a week. And then we do an invoice campaign, which is like a half sheet of paper. If that's the mailer part of it that I've included there. And then we also do email reminders for the invoice. But our spring invoice and our Blue Friday, Cyber Monday, both are year over year our highest revenue generators. And they're both pretty simple. Consistent top performers every year for us. And I think that was my final slide. Yeah.
Thank you, Melanie. I'm going to have the others come back up and we'll leave it open for questions. Does anybody have any questions for our presenters today? We grab actually another one of those mics for me. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for your presentations. This is Jen with Carolina Alumni, and my question is for Melissa. Curious about, you mentioned that the third email send you sent to unopens, but in the past you've done the click-throughs, and I'm just curious where you get the most results, and do you change your messaging for the click-throughs? Like, hey, we know you clicked, but keep going, or like, what does the subject line look like for that?
So I would say, we've done all over the place with that. I would not say we found the tried and true to make that happen. My former cohort and I had different opinions on the third email, and he always won. So this is one of the first times we've done an unopened one, and I actually got more memberships out of it than he did. So So we've kind of just played around with it. I would not say we have a philosophy really that says for sure which way we're going. But we do try to change the messaging if it is a click through. I don't change really the messaging for that opens because they didn't see the other one. And to save time on my marketing team, you just stick with the normal on that. So, but I don't know if anybody else has any statistics on those kind of things.
So we do a similar thing. I typically I go back and forth too. I lean a little bit more to the opens, but didn't act on it. And we'll resend that email a couple weeks later. I don't change anything in the main email except at the top we add like kind of like we call it I'm always telling our marketing just add the gold box, and it's basically like we saw you noticing something interesting in your cart. I mean, it's kind of like that. It's like we saw that you seemed interested in membership. We're always here. Please give us a call, and we'll put like our phone number and email. If you have any questions, we're happy to walk you through that. So we see really great open rates on the sending to opens but didn't act. So I'd try it.
Anybody else? Okay.
I have a question about the Life Member Plus option that you guys have. Uh, is there a marketed difference in the benefits that come with the Life Member Plus?
The only difference is the annual gift that they get. So, no, for us, life membership is your top membership, we'll say. So that is what we're striving for everyone to be as a life member. The Life Member Plus is a bonus for an annual gift every year. So those people can go on and off based on their annual giving to membership, and those dollars still go to membership. I need unrestricted dollars. So them giving to our homecoming fund or a scholarship does not make them Life Plus. Life Plus, I need operational funds. So that's why those only count towards that. But yeah, there's no additional benefits besides, well, and now this lovely decal that has years on it. But other than that, that's the only things that they get.
This is a question for also the whole room. I would love to see a show of hands on how many of you guys do paid social for your memberships, whether it's for individual campaigns or otherwise. Okay, that's great because I'm from the marketing side rather than membership specifically, and we're always trying to promote paid social, but I think there's sometimes a disconnect on that aspect of spending money to make money compared to direct mail. Oh. Mm-hmm. And if so, how do you what are some of the targets that you guys use to narrow it down your audiences for paid social?
Yeah, so we basically just geo-target. So our larger markets, if we have a campaign that's specifically talking about a region, obviously we'll target them. But it's mainly by location.
Okay, thank you.
My question was for the first gentleman. You mentioned that you allow your seniors to attend alumni events so that they can start getting comfortable with becoming an alumni soon. Can you explain what type of events that you invite your students to?
Yeah, good question. So I think I probably misspoke a little bit. So we have a student alumni association and they host their own events. So that's a combination of events that are like student to student. There's also student to alumni during their time as a student. The event that I was specifically talking about that's part of this campaign is our end of year, like new grad send off is what we call it. And that is where we just have the students come and it's a celebration for them. That event, they're really not talking to alumni. It's just telling them like, here's all of the different ways that you can plug into the Alumni Association. Yeah, that's a really good question. So we have a like a web form that asks for especially their non-UOrgan email address. We get graduating student data from the registrar, and that sometimes has that, but it's really more on us to try and have them fill out that QR code. and so like when we'll have those plastered around the events, just kind of like a, hey, give us your updated information. We want to stay in touch, that type of messaging. Yeah, of course.
You go first. Okay. So we also do, we have a whole program called Senior Year Experience, and it starts with 100 Days Till Graduation. It's an event that we have in our alumni center. And that's kind of more fun versus informational, but just trying to get people in, aware of the alumni center, give them a little bit of information about the alumni association, but it's more like pack, fill your little bags of candy and decorate your, headband with the 100 days on it or something. But we do get a lot of traffic there, and we have computers set up to collect information at that event. And then we have another event that we call Senior Send Off. That one is more informational. So we invite some of our local chapters to come. I have a membership table there. We have our volunteer services team who works with all of our chapters. They have a table. Some of our vendors come, so like Justin's for the rings. Hillary from USI always comes. So we have a number of vendors who come to that. And we give a free 1-year membership after graduation. So at that event, and we started this year, we actually gave them a postcard, and there's one up on my in my marketing materials that has a QR code on it for them to early activate their free membership, because technically they don't actually get it until about 6 to 8 weeks after they graduate. But this gives them the opportunity to give us their updated information, and we activate them as a member at that moment. So that's one way that we try to collect info.
Yeah, it's our grad finale is our senior send off, where we invite all graduates to it, but members do get all their perks when they're there to try to encourage all the non-members to become member. But we have our chapters people that have a table, and we kind of make it sound like it's almost a requirement. Like their step 2 when you come in, you check in. Step 2 is go to this table, and they fill out a form. They fill out an online form there, and if they show their receipt, we have a special koozie that's kind of like the graduating class, alumni status. They've reached alumni status, and that's what drives people to fill out that form. So that's one way we did collect data in addition to all the other things that you're trying to do beforehand.
At SFA, we also have our senior send off. We have been manual process, paper forms. When you went to digital, was there any decrease in ability for you guys? Do y'all do drawings or anything at the events? Because we're kind of nervous about shifting it over because of different reasons, but just being able to generate on the fly, so to speak. Any issues from manual to digital? I know the information is probably better percentage wise. Anyway, we're getting pushback from.
Yeah, I can answer that. On our end, no issues. And honestly, in terms of the question of like if you're doing an at event drawing, you can do that no problem. Just export it to Excel and just do the random number generator formula and copy it down. That's what we do. And it's super easy. And honestly, like this population, in my experience, they're more likely to fill out the digital form than it is to take the time to write something on a piece of paper.
All right, I think we have time for maybe one more.
Hi, Sarah Foron, University of Florida. My question's for Melanie. For your fall parent campaign, what's the conversion rate like from the letter and the actual emails? Like, where are you seeing the most success come from?
Good question. So on which I didn't show envelopes or anything like that. So we always include a QR code on all of our direct mail campaigns. So I would say that the majority of purchases were from people either going right to the URL from the QR code in the mailer or returning the response device to us in the mail. So I would say the mailer definitely overperformed with email and social, for sure.
Which I will say, I don't know how, I would love to see, we always have a way better response with direct mail. I wish we could
We
mail
still do
to
too.
everybody all the time, but we can't. If anybody has a secret, if their emails are like kicking butt, please let me know.
Same here.
Because I would love to not have to do mail, but direct mail for some reason does better.
I just want to share one little like thing that we tested in the giving piece of our campaign. We worked with our colleagues in the Office of Annual Giving to put that together, and we said that we didn't want to send a paper form. We just wanted there to be a URL and a QR code in there. And they're like, no, your donors always give by filling out a check and sending it in. And I was like, really? So they agreed to do a test segment. So they chopped out, carved out a little audience to send something that only had the QR code and URL in it. The average gift was much smaller, but we had 700 gifts through the QR code. So I was like, suck it, Annual Giving. So I think now that gives them some, like, now maybe they'll trust us when we say we want to try to do stuff more digitally.
Okay, perfect. Thank you guys for presenting. I'm going to give you guys your gifts here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, everybody. This session, as you guys know, will be recorded. Let's give them one more round of applause. Okay, next up is lunch. Ethan let us know well, first of all, once again, thank you to our sponsors. I need to remember to say that. But grab a sponsor map on your way out. Ethan, do you have those right now? Okay.